morning, family and friends, brothers and sisters, and all my saints and subs. Sergeant OCD here. I'm back at the camp. I can't remember if I called this Camp R or Camp S, but I think it's Camp R. It's where my shooting range is. But I found this hill last time and then found this little divot. So basically what I want to do is I want to put a tarp over this and put a fire at one end so I can actually have shelter and stay warm. This is the continuation of the video I did, I don't know, it's probably 2 months ago by now. It's the winter survival kit. Now I did have to change bags because of my condition. That bag was pretty heavy. I dumped the blanket today, and it's about 20 pounds, and that seems to be a good weight. Call this my pilot's bag because it's got a lot of aircraft stuff on it. But I did add my coffee kit, and then I have my haversack with me, which has all my hiking stuff. So when I go out, I have like protein drinks, protein bars. So I have that with me. Water in my car was frozen yesterday, but now it thawed out. So I wanted to show, you know, heating up a bottle frozen water, but it's not frozen anymore. So I think I'm going to probably build a fire over here, but I got to clean out all this debris. But I want to go ahead and talk to you about Revelation 6. We are in 9 through 11. This is the fifth seal. When the Lamb broke the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of all who have been martyred for the word of God and for the word of God and being faithful in their testimony. Martyrs are people who are persecuted for being Christians or whatever religion you are. They shouted to the Lord and said, "O sovereign Lord, holy and true, how long before you judge the people who belong to this world and avenge our blood for what they have done to us?" Then a white robe was given to each of them. I can't wait to get my white robe. Then, and they were told to rest a little longer until the full number of their brothers and sisters and their fellow servants of Jesus who were to be martyred had joined them. So that's what's going to happen to all the Christians. That's why, you know, when I was in the hospital, I was reading the Bible and I kept coming across this word loving kindness. And today on the way here, it's loving kindness. And I'm like, okay, that's how we should treat everybody, with love and kindness. And the Bible puts it together. Actually, Jesus puts it together as one word, loving kindness. Without further ado, I'm going to explain these packs and after I get a fire going. I was debating whether to have a fire here or here, but I think over here would be a little better. The wind's blowing this way, so I think at the end of my tent, it's pretty squishy here, so I'm going to probably leave the leaves. In my haversack I have trash bags, so I'll probably be lining this with trash bags. I do have my tarp with me, but it's not set up, i.e. it was new, and I don't have any type of tape on the eyelets, the grommets, but I may not tape them since this is going to be temporary. The whole idea of this type of scenario is if you leave your car. Now, if you break down, you wreck, whatever, try to stay with your vehicle because that's where people are going to go. I have a little issue with my camera. Anyway, try to stay with your vehicle if you do wreck or break down. People are going to stop for a vehicle. They're not going to come looking for you out in the woods. I am not too far deep into the woods, but I wanted to get in an area where I could show a little bit of covertness, cover it up. Unfortunately, I can't do a Dakota fire pit like I was originally planned because this is the only thing I brought with me. I don't have a shovel with me. So it's some of the things, if you go out and do this and practice, you know, keep a note of what you're missing. I did put my SOG shovel in my hiking backpack because it's lighter. Like I said, I'm keeping my packs between 20 and 25 pounds because I've got stitches. I just don't want a hernia. And what happened to me is, you know how when you eat something and it gives you heartburn? It's your body's way of telling you not to eat that. If you keep eating the same stuff and you ignore your body telling you not to eat it, you're going to have issues with your colon. So my colon, I tore a hole in my colon, and about 3 centimeters, which is a little over an inch, and my bowels emptied into my belly, and I couldn't breathe. Everything was pushing up on my lungs and my kidneys and everything. So you don't want that to happen to you. So if you do have heartburn, do something about it. Get checked out by your doc. I'm not a firm believer in going to doctors, but after what happened to me, there's some things I can't take care of, and I can't do that. So I'm going to be down for, or disabled a little bit, 5% or so for probably 6 months to a year, up to a year. So just keep an eye on your body and go see a doc. You don't want to go through shortness of breath and having extreme abdominal pain like I had. Anyway, God bless you, and I'm going to start cleaning this out. So it doesn't look pretty. You can make it look pretty, but make sure you don't have like flat contours. And definitely I'd have to put more leaves on it, but I don't want to gather up all the leaves around here and throw it on top because it's going to look like I did that. So I'd have to go collect leaves in these bags and from elsewhere and do that. But you get the idea. I mean, I never call myself a bushcrafter. If anything, I've said I'm a bushwhacker, because I don't get into it like a lot of these other guys do. I just basically want to show people they can survive, So before I get to my haversack, trying to keep everything off this. We've had some weather and it's been pretty moist. I try to keep my gloves in my pockets. That's why I like BDUs so much. I mean, They were so useful in the military, and I'm surprised people don't wear them more often. So anyway, just like normal, I shouldn't need this unless I get shot, because this is my first aid kit with a tourniquet. Now my fire kit, I like these tins, you know, this tin, that tin, whatever. In here I have char cloth, alcohol swabs, and these things. But I wanted to make this kit so I didn't need anything. I do have my knife with my ferrocerium rod on the side. I don't go out in the woods without it, because that's like my main survival tool. So I do have a ferrocerium rod, and in my cordage kit I have a knife, if I can get it out. We're going to see if that works, because it's a new ferrocerium rod that I got for Christmas. Get this a little closer. Yeah, I'm just trying to keep my knees off the wetness. So one thing I do keep in my haversack is protein. Oh, let's finish this guy. And then in my other kit, flashlights, headlamps. That's a battery powered flashlight, and I also have a compass and a rechargeable. I like this one because it's got a blue light, UV light, but I don't like all the buttons on these flashlights, that if you're trying to just turn your flashlight on low, you basically can't do that. And then in the bottom of that I have my water filtration kit, along with some iodine in case, you know, I have to do it quickly. So haversack, I've got, you know, bags for foraging, duct tape, I have a saw, and here I have a candle. I threw in out of my other bag, and then I have kind of like a just a big knife. You could probably survive with just this if you had a fire kit. Of course I have ammo, and I have an empty mag, because the reason I come out here is for firearm therapy. But anyway, if I had to stay out here, I have this kit, you know, have this little cover. It ain't much. I have to keep feeding the wood to stay warm, especially today when it's 36 degrees. When I left it was 28. So I'm gonna start this with a regular box fire, because some of this wood is wet. Like I said, we've been having some weather. I might have to bring this a little closer. I think I will. It's kind of hard to get out of this thing. It doesn't look pretty. You know, you can make it look pretty, but make sure you don't have like flat contours. And definitely I'd have to put more leaves on it, but I don't want to gather up all the leaves around here and throw it on top, because it's going to look like I did that. So I'd have to go collect leaves in these bags and from elsewhere and do that. But you get the idea. I mean, I never call myself a bushcrafter. If anything, I've said I'm a bushwhacker, because I don't get into it like a lot of these other guys do. I just basically want to show people they can survive, you know. So before I get to my haversack, trying to keep everything off this. We've had some weather and it's been pretty moist. I try to keep my gloves in my pockets. That's why I like BDUs so much. I mean, they were so useful in the military, and I'm surprised people don't wear them more often. So anyway, just like normal, I shouldn't need this unless I get shot, because this is my first aid kit with a tourniquet. Now my fire kit, I like these tins, you know, this tin, that tin, whatever. In here I have char cloth, alcohol swabs, and these things. but I wanted to make this kit so I didn't need anything. I do have my knife with my ferrocerium rod on the side. I don't go out in the woods without it because that's like my main survival tool. So I do have a ferrocerium rod, and in my cordage kit I have a knife if I can get it out. We're going to see if that works because it's a new ferrocerium rod that I got for Christmas. Get this a little closer. Yeah, I'm trying to keep my knees off the wetness. So one thing I do keep in my haversack is protein. Oh, let's finish this guy. And then in my other kit, flashlights, headlamps. That's a battery powered flashlight, and I also have a compass and a rechargeable. I like this one because it's got a blue light, UV light, but I don't like all the buttons on these flashlights that if you're trying to just turn your flashlight on low, you basically can't do that. And then in the bottom of that I have my water filtration kit along with some iodine in case, you know, I have to do it quickly. So haversack, I've got, you know, bags for foraging, duct tape, I have a saw, and here I have a candle. I threw in out of my other bag, and then I have kind of like a just a big knife. You could probably survive with just this if you had a fire kit. Of course I have ammo, and I have an empty mag because the reason I come out here is for firearm therapy. But anyway, I have if I had to stay out here, I have this kit, you know, have this little cover. It ain't much. I have to keep feeding the wood to stay warm, especially today when it's 36 degrees. When I left it was 28. So I'm gonna start this with a regular box fire because some of this wood is wet. Like I said, we've been having some weather. I might have to bring this a little closer. I think I will. It's kind of hard to get out. Put this one away. I was gonna fire that, reload that thing, but we can do that over a cup of coffee. So you notice how I was looking at this and saying, oh, look at that. So there's a certain type of wood. Poplar is one of them that you can use the bark to make a bird's nest. So that piece is wet, but it'll still catch a lot faster than some of the other ones. I'm just trying to get the bigger pieces. Yeah, you notice I don't have an axe, so if I really needed one, I could go up to my other camp. But if you're stranded on the side of the road, you won't have that luxury. Yeah. So what I should be doing, but I was trying to get into the road or get into the area pretty quick, was looking for fire making material on the way. And you see I've got a fluorescent shirt out. That's my signaling shirt, but I used it to keep my wood dry because all that stuff right there is wet. But all my little twigs and sticks, the stuff that's really good to start that breaks, is all right here. Thought I had more, but it's probably all over the place. You know, it's not hard to start a fire. And if I didn't have this bag with the ferrocerium rod and a knife, I have this coat. Now, I bought this coat for a raincoat, and it's from China, and it's, you know, survival raincoat, but it's got all these pockets. So I have a little mini flashlight, char cloth. I love these things. Guy at work gives them to me. A little knife. And then I have an emergency blanket, Fresnel lens, and another flashlight. And surprisingly, it doesn't, where I have the weight, you know, when I had the weight in the arm, it kind of bothered me. Then I have this one. I have a breaker. It's a little SOG icebreaker, and it's a tool, whistle, a little multi-tool, if I can get it open. Little multi-tool. I know it's cute. A little compass in there. And then this is the main knife. And I've got one of these cheap compass whistle type of thermometer, and this says it's 25 degrees. Oh, that's Celsius, my bad. It was in my car, so it says it's 72 degrees. So how accurate that is. And then I have this little pocket saw. Last pocket saw I had didn't work very well. One thing about this knife, it's got a ferrocene rod on it. So if I had to, I have this coat. I've got most of the critical items, but no way to do water or anything, no container. All right, so I'm gonna take some of this stuff off to get it started. Should have more of that kindling, but I got plenty of leaves and stuff around here. In here I got bags for mushrooms. Like I said, bags for any other type of foraging. I also have some like Gatorade patches for my electrolytes, and then another bag, like I said. Right now I'm gonna look at this. It's been in there since last year, so it should be good. Thing is, keep your energy up. That's why I don't use that much energy on this, because it's temporary. Wow, that's thick. It needs to thaw out. And then I had a bottle of water in my car that was frozen, now it's not. And of course, ammo. So you should always be carrying. You should always have a knife with you, some type of fire kit, some type of shelter. Containers we're gonna go over. Compass. There is another flat compass in here. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of stuff in this little flat compass. This was my father's, so there's no way to align it. So it does work. I did test it out on long distances when I'm doing, you know, land navigation. It may not be as well as one of these Lensatics, wherever it is. These, plus this has a mirror on it. Now, some of them have like this. It's got a magnifier on it. You could use that to start a fire as well. They have all these neat little all-in-ones. Now I bought a watch that's got everything on it, but the watch doesn't work, you know. And I returned it, and they sent me another one. They didn't want to give me a refund, and I know why. Because it didn't work. So I put a battery in it. By the time I got back to them, I was past the return window. So one of the things I want to try to do, we're not using that knife. I'm so used to using it. We're going to stick with what we brought in this kit. Look at that. I'm going to try to just get this bark off. So a lot of people don't like these serrated knives that's serrated down here. I don't mind them because I can do feathers or feather strips if I want to really get into it. But the outside of that bark was wet. I want to get to the inside. The whole point of this is you need to decide whether you're going to do a shelter or a fire first. If you're in the mountains where there's not a lot of traffic, I would suggest doing a fire first. Because if your car's, let's just say your car is 2-3 miles down the road, they see a fire, they're pretty much gonna come towards you to rescue you, if you want to be rescued. Sometimes I don't think I want to be, just because the way the world is, you know. But our current president is making it better. You know, everybody's crying about it, but only half the people. It seems like half the country, little less, like 49%, doesn't like what our president's doing. But because you could cut down rushes and sticks and sticker bushes. It's got me out of a lot of sticker bush patches, that's for sure. That was my first one. Don't care if I lose it when I hike. Not that I want to lose it, but it would bother me. Still thick. It's always good to have a rain jacket in your car, extra hoodie in your car, so you can put layers on, take layers off. Knives, fire kit, first aid kit. I mean, anything that you would use during the day. Pick a day and say, okay, everything I use I'm going to write down and I'm going to put it into a kit. That's what I did. Of course, you know, I add tourniquets and Narcan, because sometimes you may run into somebody that's OD'd or that's hurt. I mean, what if a law enforcement's hurt and you're the only one there to help? You can defend yourself and treat the wound. Not that they would appreciate you defending yourself or defending that officer. They may appreciate you defending that officer. London Bridge is falling down. But yeah, it'll go. I'm gonna go ahead and pause for a little bit. Well, I'm back. Took a little bit to get that fire started because most of the wood was wet. I had to babysit it, and I'm glad I found that wood with the bark coming off, because that caught pretty well. Got the fire started, dried out some of the other wet wood. There was a lot of wet wood. The logs I put down over the earth, they were soaked, and they're still soaked. It was a nice platform to put my coffee on. But it's nice to come out here and just enjoy the woods, work on my firearm proficiency, and just spend some time with God. You know, everybody goes through trials, and I think me going into the hospital was God's way of, hey, slow down, let's talk. He'll do that. So I started a new plan, chronological in the Bible, and I'm in Job right now. I'm a little bit behind. I'm about 3 weeks behind on everything. You know, I started learning a verse a week, and it's really gotten me closer to my spirituality, because you know, you live in this world, you're not of this world, and you just go along with it sometimes, and you know, sometimes you backslide and you get totally away from God, but sometimes it's God's way of saying, hey, look, now I want you to learn this. So I did this whole study on humility that I revisited, because you're laying in the hospital and you got a gown on, and everybody wants to look at your wounds, and there's no privacy. So yeah, I got a little frustrated being in there more than 7 days, but you know, I don't go into the hospital very much. But I'm gonna close this out. Treat everybody with loving kindness. Stock up on food, water, gasoline, ammo, and keep your head on a swivel, because it's crazy. It's crazy out there. People are not liking what's going on when, you know, all Trump is trying to do is help the United States, you know, but people don't like that. You know, they don't want you digging in their pockets for the money that you laundered. But it's nice to get back out in the woods. I think it's going to be hiking season soon, because 34 degrees, 36 degrees didn't bother me today, like I thought it would. But of course the sun's on me and I got a fire. So one of my hiking buddies like, hey, when we getting out? I was like, soon. You know, I said March we gotta start getting out looking for mushroom spots. So I want to go to some other ones this year, where the Mayflowers are, so we can get some May fruit. Those are definitely ready in May. I want to go check out a couple patches that I found before. So Anyway, I'll film that. But you guys take care. God bless you, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. Oh, good God. Oh, and one more thing. Your haversack is the flap should be have the rubber in protection. It's a good seat too. Keep your butt